Hello and how's everyone doing today? Welcome to the channel. If you're new, if you're a returning viewer, I'm glad to have you back and welcome to another episode of Resident Evil 9. In the last episode, we finished the main story. I first did the bad ending, where Leon got shot for dramatic effect. Um, whether it worked or not, I don't know. But obviously Leon didn't die. And he fought Victor. I was really disappointed. I really wanted a Xeno fight. I seen online a lot of other people also wanted a Xeno fight. Um, that would have been really cool, honestly, to have a Xeno fight. But I can't believe that they dropped the ball on that one. That would have been really cool. For Leon to have his own Wesker, essentially, like his own rival. Um, Then we looked over some of the bonus content, like the concept art, and then we ran out of time because apparently you can only record for an hour on PS5, which I didn't know that. Um, so we ran out of time, and we still have, I think, a couple of character models to go through. Then the main bulk of the video is going to be us reading the 60-page document from Grace detailing the Umbrella stuff. So let's take a look at the Tyrant here. Really cool stuff. The detail and everything looks really good. All the muscle, just everything looks really, really good. The one thing that I'm kind of disappointed, I mean, Resident Evil 4 Remake did the same thing too, is they ditched the cat eyes for Wesker. Even Xeno also had, like, it seems like they all use just like these circly eyes, and they just change the color of it, like red or like a normal color, whatever. All the zombies also had these yellowy circle eyes. You know, it got boring, to be honest. The Tyrant had them already, so that's fine. But they should have had Xeno have the cat eyes, like Wesker. But again, it's something that they did in the 4 Remake as well. They just gave him the circle eyes as well, which I didn't really care for. They should have gave him the cat eyes in the Resident Evil 4 Remake also. I really like this design. It's a lot closer to the original. Again, they should have had both arms super big and bulky like they did in Original 2. But, I'm not complaining. I like the 501 design better than the Resident Evil 2 remake Tyrant. Because, again, this one is based off of the original. Then we have Plant 43. Pretty cool, actually, to be honest. Yeah, it's just a plant that attacks people. There's not much for me to say here, except for it's the sister plant to Plant 42. Ark Zombies. Again, as I said while playing with Grace, these guys are really cool. Like, even the detail. Like, man, look at that. Even like the spit and the goo, whatever, coming out of their mouths and stuff too. Like, just really cool. I don't think we haven't had naked zombies since Code Veronica. I don't think, or maybe there were some in Resident Evil 5 on the conveyor belt. I don't remember, but the last ones I remember were Code Veronica, coming out of the graveyard and stuff. And before that was Resident Evil 1, original Resident Evil 1. Yeah, just really cool stuff. Liquor B, really cool. It's too bad that they didn't have animations. Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 had animations for their model viewers. Okay. Model Mania. View all models. And here we have Nemesis Victor. Okay. So now that we have all the concept art, all the models done, all the things I wanted to look at, let's get behind this. 60 pages. So make sure you have your drinks, make sure you have your snacks. I do hope this episode is not boring, and I hope it's very insightful. Okay, So, let's get into this. Grace Report: The Truth Behind Raccoon City. Introduction. In 1998, Raccoon City was devastated by a massive outbreak caused by a viral outbreak from the pharmaceutical giant Umbrella. The United States government responded by launching a missile strike to wipe out the infected and erected a blockade to seal off the city. In 2004, following a court trial, the Umbrella Corporation declared bankruptcy. A complete account of the events was never released. However, in October 2026, it was discovered that the city has been used for a hub for production of trafficking bioweapons. This report reveals that the established narrative of Raccoon City incident was falsified and, I don't know that word, newly discovered truth surrounding the incident. Now, this tracks with previous stuff because at the end of Outbreak, which was on the PS2, so many years ago, at the end of, it's either Outbreak 1 or Outbreak 2, it shows a tower that is erected in one of the, what do you call it? One of the craters, and there's fighter jets flying by taking pictures and stuff. So even back then, they were showing us, hey, the city's still active. But, I guess no one paid attention. In the universe, I guess no one really paid attention. Okay, 1968. To properly understand the truth, we must go back to the beginning of it all. In 1968, Oswald E. Spencer, James Marcus, and Edward Ashford founded the Umbrella Corporation. Having witnessed the horrors of the Second World War and the dread of the Cold War, Spencer felt a sense of despair at watching the world repeat the same mistakes. He felt it was his duty to bring change to humanity. As stated in court records following the Raccoon City incident, hopefully you guys can still hear me. I did not know that the microphone moved. As stated in records following the Raccoon City incident, his ultimate goal was to bring about the viral evolution of the human race. Thus, he relentlessly pursued virus research through illegal and inhumane means. This fact remains unchanged. Obviously. In 1970s, okay. From the very beginning of Umbrella, the company faced rapid change and intense internal strife, most notably the sharp ideological divide between Spencer and Marcus. According to court records, this conflict was cited as the primary factor leading to the unusual developments that followed. In 1978, James Marcus developed the T virus, which would go on to become the cause of the subsequent outbreak. 1980s. This is a crucial period for understanding the basis of what caused the incident and the truth behind the entire case. Spencer's influence in ARC's establishment. Spencer used internal politics to have Marcus demoted, absorbing the T-virus research into a facility under his own control from then on. Umbrella began to actively research and develop bioweapons under Spencer's leadership. Hold on. Marcus demoted. That doesn't really make any sense, though, because in Zero, we see Marcus be assassinated, and he's still working. So, I guess, I don't know, that doesn't really make sense to me. The underground facility known as ARC, which was discovered during recent events, originally served as the administrative center of Umbrella's research. Several documents outlining Spencer's plan for ARC have also been discovered. Excerpt from confiscated records. ARC Centric Integrated Research Roadmap. Step 1. Concentrated investment into the Wesker Project and the T-Virus. So for those of you who don't know what the Wesker Project is, I'll just do a little breakdown and explain for you guys. So the Wesker Project, everybody thinks it's cloning. It's not cloning. I see a lot of people making videos online, whether it be like YouTube Shorts or Facebook Reels or whatever, talking about clones and the Wesker Project. The Wesker Project was not clones. What the Wesker Project was is they kidnapped 13 people from all over the world, 13 children from all over the world, the smartest children that they could find. And basically they just did a bunch of experiments on them. And they pulled the Wesker Project out of their ass. I've talked about this before on, Justin Talks Games. But they pulled the Wesker Project out of their ass near the end of Resident Evil 5. And it's like, hey, Albert Wesker isn't really his own person anymore. He was kidnapped, and his real name is Albert, but, basically all the research subjects took the last name Wesker. It was such a stupid addition to the franchise, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. Anyways, establishment of ARC as central command center, development of Elpis, memory transfer and forced evolution. This is the first recorded instance of a significant keyword, Elpis. The connections involvement. The following documents regarding Marcus involvement were also discovered. Wait, Marcus had connections? Hold on. Excerpt from confiscated records. Receipt of donation. Recipient, James Marcus. Sender, F Foundation. Amount, $30 million. Damn. This document shows a suspicious flow of funds being channeled to Marcus. Past FBI investigations revealed that the source of the funds, the F Foundation, was just one of the puppet organizations of the connections. The F Foundation no longer exists. Okay. The connections is a criminal organization that various government agencies have been sounding the alarm against for years. This illicit group is at the heart of all of this. Evidence suggests that the connections sought involvement with Umbrella's central operations. Additional documents belonging to the protege of Dr. James Marcus, Brandon Bailey, has also been discovered. Okay, let's see here. Telegraph log from Brandon Bailey to the F Foundation. Preparations are complete. I think it's time you made contact with me directly, don't you? I await a response. This indicates that Bailey took over correspondence with the connections, succeeding Marcus. Bailey was rumored to be the founder of the connections, but he may have only been a small cog in the machine. We now believe the connections has had deep roots in the criminal underworld since even before the 1980s. Much about the connections remains unknown. Spencer's Purge. In order for Spencer to obtain complete control over Umbrella, he used force to deal with any internal opposition and influential adversaries. A list of these individuals, seemingly prepared by an associate of Spencer's, was recently discovered. Okay, let's see here. Excerpt from confiscated records, reevaluation list. Following the CEO's reevaluation protocol, measures must be taken against these individuals. Cheryl Moore, I don't recognize that name. Michael Kramer, I don't recognize that name. James Marcus, obviously everybody knows James Marcus. ... and omitted. 1990s. Okay. During this period, Umbrella continued to grow and expand through ties with the government. The organization became so large that Spencer could no longer fully control it. Numerous incidents plagued Umbrella facilities around the world as a result of poor management. Yeah, can you tell? Things that we can think of. We have the training facility that got infected. We have the mansion that got infected. The entirety of Raccoon City obviously got infected. You have Rockfort Island that got infected. Lots and lots of poor management and poor security and all that. Just, not very good at all. Furthermore, information, excuse me. Hopefully you guys can hear me. The microphone keeps moving. Furthermore, information was being leaked to rival organizations and the connections due to moles who had infiltrated the company. One of them, wait, hold on, was being leaked to rival organizations and the connections. Yeah, so one of the moles, obviously, was Ada Wong, and John with her connection to Umbrella, Resident Evil 1. Yet, despite... Oh, wait, hold on, did I finish that? Further... Yeah, I did, okay. Yet, despite the circumstances, Spencer was able to thoroughly protect and complete his research at ARC, the research, Elpis. While most records regarding Elpis were lost with the destruction of ARC, a precious few remain. So, with that being said, I assume that means that he did all of his research at the different facilities and stuff, and then the very last place he worked must have been at the ARC here. So does that mean, did he leave before the outbreak? Or did he leave after the outbreak? Because obviously this place is fully intact. So with the bombs and everything, and the missile strike and everything, and the outbreaks and stuff, this place seemed pretty okay. Okay. Let's see here. Excerpt from confiscated records. Spencer's message, 1990 something. Tricell, HCF, the family, and Umbrella. Elpis shall bring it all to an end. The only information leaked about Elpis was that it had the potential to upset the military balance of the world. However, a strictly managed password known only to Spencer was needed to access it. What is Elpis? Elpis is a powerful antiviral drug. However, this was unknown to those who sought it. The Connections and other black market groups mistakenly thought it to be a very powerful bioweapon with the potential to control human minds. This confusion likely stemmed from the fierce competition surrounding bioweapon development. It was common knowledge that Spencer, the developer of Elpis, aimed for the evolution and control of humanity through viral technologies. Completion of Elpis. Based on the data taken from the confiscated records and changes in Spencer's behavior, we believe Elpis was completed around the mid-1990s. After this period, a record shows a marked decrease in the numbers of public statements from Spencer. A similar decrease in activity was also observed at the Raccoon City Orphanage. Disturbingly, it is suspected that the children of the orphanage had long been used for Umbrella experimentation. While Spencer frequently visited the orphanage, records indicate he stopped in the 1990s. Furthermore, the orphanage was under the research jurisdiction of William Birkin in the late 90s. Birkin turned against Spencer, ultimately leading to the leak of the T-virus. That is true. The Raccoon City Incident, 1998. The T-virus leaked from the Umbrella Research Facility in Umbrella. The T-virus leaked from the Umbrella Research Facility in Raccoon City, causing an unprecedented outbreak. In response, the government decided to launch a missile strike on the city, under the pretense of containing the spread. However, this is where we have been misled. The missile strike was not launched to prevent the spread of infection. A plan was formed to disrupt the relationship between the government and Umbrella, shift the blame for all illegal activities onto Spencer. Let's see here. Found records indicate that the Connections lobbied for the missile strike. ARC has been secured. Commence missile strike. The blame will fall solely on Spencer. With this, Umbrella will be dismantled and we'll seize their assets. The goal was the acquisition of Umbrella assets, particularly the thing they believed would disrupt the world's balance. Elpis. Due to Bailey's involvement, the Connections were aware of Umbrella's inner workings prior to the Raccoon City incident. This set them up to swiftly secure ARC before instructing the government to carry out the strike. After the Raccoon City incident, Umbrella trials. As is well known, trials were held after the events of the Raccoon City incident. Testimony from Raccoon City survivors, along with evidence submitted by the Global Pharmaceutical Consortium, demonstrated the scope of Umbrella's nefarious activities. Evidence against Spencer was presented at the trial by his subordinate, Albert Wesker. It is now evident that Wesker was linked to Tricell, which, we knew that from Resident Evil 5, which in turn had strong ties to the Connections. Therefore, it is highly likely that the pressure from the government and the Connections... Therefore, it is highly likely there was pressure from the government and the Connections during the trials. 2004, following the outcome of the trials, Umbrella was forced into bankruptcy, just as the Connection and the government intended. Oswald E. Spencer was held accountable as CEO, and he disappeared from the public eye. Yeah, he literally just disappeared. As you can tell from Resident Evil 5, he literally gets one off somewhere in Europe in a castle. Acquisition of ARC. The Connections and the government seized ARC during the Raccoon City incident. Thereafter, ARC served as a base for the research, development, and distribution of bioweapons. Documents believed to be transaction lists have also been seized. These list Umbrella's competitors, along with organizations that were previously found guilty of illegal activity. Unfortunately, most evidence was lost with the collapse of the ARC. Recovery efforts continue, but success is unlikely. Profilation of bioterrorism. I'm probably butchering that word. Following the Raccoon City incident, weaponized viruses developed by Umbrella were leaked. Subsequent instances of bioterrorism utilizing this technology spread around the globe. In 2013, President Adam Benford was assassinated in a bioterrorist attack. Intelligence agencies report that the president wished to reveal the full truth of the Raccoon City incident. It is possible that President Benford was privy to the facts revealed in this report. So for those of you who don't know who Adam Benford is, I don't blame you guys because he was in Resident Evil 6, and Resident Evil 6 was a terrible Resident Evil game. Basically, Adam Benford was the president of the United States back in 2013 during the events of Resident Evil 6. They were at a university, and they were going to do some sort of whatever. The president was there, and he was going to do some speech or something. He was going to talk about all the stuff, the Raccoon City stuff. And then it turns out that the family, who is basically the Connections, if I'm remembering correctly, had him assassinated. The leader at the time was Derek Simmons. Spencer's final years. Remaining records about Spencer after the dissolution of Umbrella are scarce, but a new source of information has recently come to light. An interview conducted by Alyssa Ashcroft. Despite being responsible for countless atrocities, Spencer showed some signs of remorse in this interview. Having lost everything, he sought atonement. While Elpis is a powerful instrument that can render viral weapons inert, it also has the potential as something to be used for good. It's possible that Spencer's true motivations behind Elpis were peace and redemption. While he remained obsessed with the evolution of humanity throughout his later years, most testimonies described him as nothing but a senile old man. Spencer died in 2006 at his secluded estate. Okay, so I was wrong. It was 2006. I thought it was 2008. So that means there's 3 years between Lost in Nightmares DLC for Resident Evil 5 and actual Resident Evil 5. I thought, okay, interesting. I thought it was 2008, but I guess not. His true intentions behind developing Elpis will remain unknown. I have an idea and theories about his reasoning for developing Elpis, but I'll explain that after. Conclusion. As we can see from the records, the Umbrella Corporation's liquidation was intentionally orchestrated by the Connections and the United States government. Furthermore, they were involved in the illegal developing and trafficking of bioweapons in Raccoon City. The extent to which past and present governments were involved requires further investigation. Which is the government, let's be honest, they're not going to look very far. They're probably just going to try and brush this under the rug too. Let's be honest. Much about the Connections remains shrouded in mystery, and most records of their involvement were destroyed alongside the Ark. That's very convenient. Countless lives have been lost. As government officials, we have a duty to pursue the truth. If anything, finding it will finally offer some closure to everyone who fell victim to these heinous actions. FBI intelligence analyst Grace Ashcroft. Okay, so we got a lot of information there. So it turns out that even since the beginning, Resident Evil 1, PS1, it seems like the Connections were already at that time in 1998, were already trying to bring everything down, and they already had Moles and Umbrella, and, just everything was already a mess. But it's so well hidden that you wouldn't even see that. You wouldn't know that. It's quite interesting. So, my thoughts and theories to why Spencer made Elpis. To be honest with you guys, as I kind of said in the last episode, I don't think he was remorseful. I don't think he felt bad in any way. As someone who's played the games for 30 years and have seen all of Umbrella's atrocities and terrible things that they've done, from the mansion to the training facility to Sheena Island to Rockford Island. I don't think Spencer felt bad. I mean, some of these places were just torturing people just because, especially on Rockford Island. You had doctors that took pleasure in torturing and hurting and killing people. Hell, even in Resident Evil 5, when you are playing the Lost in Nightmares DLC, which takes place in 2006, on your way to find and apprehend Spencer. While you're going there are monsters and stuff and zombies in the basement of his castle. He does not feel bad. If he felt bad, he would retreat away, and he would not be doing any more experiments or anything. He would leave and he'd be like, I'm done. He wouldn't do anything. If he felt bad, we wouldn't find anything in his castle except for the dead, security guards that Wesker killed. We wouldn't find any monsters. I personally think that Spencer created Elpis as a middle finger to all of the other organizations who were trying to steal his research and stuff. Because think about it, Spencer is not stupid. He was far from stupid. He was very, very, as evil as he was a very intelligent individual. He definitely knew that other organizations and people were trying to steal his research, trying to steal all of his stuff. Think about it. This guy took his entire life building Umbrella, doing all of these evil things, all for the sake of trying to make himself basically never die. That was the goal. Do you really think that he wouldn't have some sort of, contingency plan just in case, shit happened the way it did? With the government teaming up with another organization to take down Umbrella because they want their stuff? Yeah, right. Spencer wouldn't let that stuff go without a fight, even if he's not physically there to fight. I think he made Elpis for, at the time, when the Connections or Tricell or whoever got a hold of all of his stuff, his final, F you was Elpis. Because think about it. They steal all of his stuff, and then Elpis comes out of nowhere and literally makes all of his research useless. He was not, what do you call it? He was not remorseful. Nah. Even at the end of Resident Evil 5, before Wesker killed him, right to Wesker's face, he said, that Wesker was manufactured and that, he was supposed to be a god. I blah blah blah, I put all this work and I was supposed to be a god. Everything was supposed to work. He didn't feel bad. He was just mad that he ran out of time before his illness took over him. Those are my thoughts and my opinions and stuff. I'm going to do a Justin Talks Games on a full opinion of Resident Evil 9, so look out for that. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts on Resident Evil 9 as a whole, the whole what do you call it? The whole series that I did, story, characters, even, the reveal, the 60-page reveal of everything like that. I don't care if the reply is long. I take the time. I like to read all my replies and stuff, and I answer whenever I can. So feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. I don't know, by the time this episode goes up, I don't know if the minigame will be released or not. As Capcom or Nakanishi said, there's going to be a minigame that they're releasing in May. And there's also going to be a story DLC content. He didn't say any more than that, so we don't know what the minigame is. And we don't know anything about the story mode for the DLC. There's a lot of fake news out there on Facebook, so don't believe any of it. If you see any fake stuff, don't believe it. It's all AI crap. Wait until Capcom says something themselves. So I guess this is it for Resident Evil 9 until the minigame comes out and until the story DLC comes out. I hope you enjoyed Resident Evil 9 as much as I enjoyed playing it with you guys. I miss playing brand new Resident Evil games for you guys. I guess I'll have to figure out something else to play on the channel for the time being. Maybe I'll put out a poll, and we'll see what's what. But anyways, feel free, like I said, to leave a comment. I don't care if it's long, if it's short, whatever, whichever you like to do. Leave a comment, tell your friend about me. And I will see you guys in the next episode of Resident Evil 9, whenever that may be. Until then, have a wonderful day.